Okay, so just as promised, we continue handling the exam questions just to equip you with the very understanding, as I said. The questions not really to be memorized, but you will learn that we are repeating, saying now the same things. The questions are just there to help you to check if you really understood and got the concept that we have just been saying again and again. So the paper we are looking at, as you can see on the screen, is of 2021, and the question number of interests in this conversation is number 2. Don't worry about the other questions. We'll handle them when the fullness of time comes, like as we keep on moving on. And so question number 2 is reading, so that Gladys can read it for us. You can read it. What does it read?
Question 2.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, question 2 reads, discuss and provide business examples of any 5 main characteristics of a good research topic.
Wow.
25 minutes.
Just that. Have you seen the way how this question is phrased? Very simple question, but this is a lot of work, right? You think you can just write 2 lines and someone gives you 25 marks. It means you have to work. And since it's about 5, let me show you how the marks are located in this question. It's 5 points. So 1 point, and there should be examples. So this is how it is done. Number 1, each point has got 5 marks. Okay. And out of the way how these 5 marks are located in this question, we want you to analyze the questions like this so that you are able to see where to exert effort. This is how it is done. A discussion, okay, out of 5. If you manage to discuss, then you get 2 marks. But your ability to link, to find a practical business example and link it properly, earns you the other 3 marks. So that's how it is done. So you state, how did I say it? Number 1, you give an example, that's 2 marks, and the stating is actually 1 mark. So you state when you state the characteristic, if you just state it, you end up getting only 1 mark. Have you seen that? So if you can just state the 5 what? The 5 main characteristics, you're just stating the characteristics, you know, like, how should I put it? You're just stating like this 1, and you state another one, you state another one, you state another one, and another one. How many marks are you going to have? You end up having 5 marks out of 25. Are you following? So you need to understand how to answer the question. That's what I'm trying to show you now. That answer the questions according to what they demand. So when you just state, you get 1 mark. If you manage to discuss what you've stated, you get 2 marks. If you manage to give a practical example again, that's when you get the other 2 marks. Then you get the entire 5 marks in that order. Have you seen the requirements of the question? If you have heard the requirements of the question, then it's fine. We can go ahead now and look at this question. So the question is that you need the characteristics of a good research topic. Okay, it's about a research topic. A research topic that is good. What could be some of the characteristics of a very good research topic? Now, the key or the main characteristics of a good research topic. Do we have anyone who wants to pick one? You state 1, you get 1 mark. People have been researching, you guys have been studying, and now you are ready to share. Yes, go ahead. Sorry?
It has to be original.
Okay, it has to be original. What do you mean by original?
I mean, it has to be, how can I put it? Okay, I can say it has to be ethical.
Okay. Then you have brought in another point of ethical consideration. Let me write ethical consideration. Ethical consideration. Right. Would you now share insights what you mean by ethical consideration? This is one point here, very important point.
Oh yeah. So when you're doing research, you need to have in mind that what you are researching does not affect the public, or it has to be ethical in that country researching. For example, I can give you can do the research on I think you gave an example when we are teaching us on the deletion of pregnancies.
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. That's nice. Thank you very much for that one. Do we have someone who wants to add, just to add to ethical consideration? Some ethical consideration. Any additional? Okay. Anyway, still on ethical consideration, the discussion is that, a research should uphold the ethical, standards, by protecting the rights and the welfare of the research participants. You have to protect the rights, okay, the rights and the welfare and the welfare of the research participants. Very important. Those participants, those people that are involved in that research, it could be the sample that the elements that form the sample, they have to be protected. And you have to make sure that this research, in this research, you get informed consent. That is, let the people allow and ensure you maintain things like maintaining confidentiality. Those are ethical considerations we're talking about, confidentiality as well. So we check if a good research, you are proposing a good research topic, it really need to be ethically acceptable. So you need to put in mind of that. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. Okay. Let's pick an example, since examples are also part of the marks that we're giving. Which one? Okay, let me pick this one. If you have a pharmaceutical company, right, that is conducting clinical trials for a new drug, in compliance with ethical guidelines, you have to ensure that participants' safety is prioritized and informed consent is obtained. Did you get it? You didn't get this one, this example. I was saying you are a pharmaceutical company, right? You are doing some trials on a new drug, right? So it's important for you to ensure that you pay attention or you comply with the ethical guidelines. Ensure that the participants' safety is prioritized, they are safe, make sure they are safe. And again, they give their consent, right? So that's an example that we're giving. in view of the same light. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you mean when they want to do the trial on someone, yeah, they need to know, and also they need to be protected by the authorities.
Yeah.
What about if they are doing the trial from maybe they want to inject the animals?
Okay. Now that's
how are they going to be protected?
Okay. That's now we have other laws, other ethical guidelines that guide on the animals for like the owners of the animals. They have to allow, maybe in this case, they have to, to allow you. How do you try on the animals that are not yours? You get the point? Because we assume that these animals are owned by people if they are kept animals. If they are if it's wildlife, obviously we have Zawa, all those things. You understand? There are always people that have to keep consent. Right. Okay. Does that help? Or we move on to the second consideration, characteristic. Okay.
So maybe I can give an example on the one
yes,
that
give
I
another
said
example.
It should be original.
Yes.
So what I meant is when the research topic should not be something which has been done before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. So would you would give us an example of that? How you should make sure that you do that? Okay. Let's say by
I can give an
originality.
example.
Yes, give us an example of originality.
So, for example, if you found a topic like researching on how many women participate in mining in Zambia, maybe it has been written like that. You can check for the gaps, or you can specify it by province or by town.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. So the idea is that it should not be something that was already done before and you're just repeating the same thing, isn't it? Like you're just repeating that. That's a valid point, and it's one of the good characteristics of a good research topic. It has to be original. You make sure it is. Okay. If it's it may be related to what has been there, yeah, but it has to be bringing out something new. Okay. Someone already gave an example in which we obey or we pay attention to this is of when you're conducting a research, you don't have to get the paper that was done by someone and just do that. It's an offense in academics. It's not acceptable. Okay, managed to get that one right. It has to be. Oh, people are giving out the points. We are still giving some more characteristics of a good research topic. Okay, relevance. Right. Okay. A good research topic is supposed to be relevant to what now? Yeah, that is to say, a good research topic has to address the relevant issues or the overarching questions that are important to the business or the industry. It has to provide the insights that can lead to the practical application or to the solutions. Okay, that is relevant. You need a topic that is able to, that is answering the questions. Okay, say it is relevant to what? It has to be relevant to the business or to the industry. Okay. So in other words, it has to be useful, you know, like let it be useful. Let it be the research question that is answering the question, right? It has to be able to answer the overarching question. And it should actually help in providing us, you know, with insights, or it should be able to provide solutions to the existing problem. That's a good research topic, not the topic that is not answering anything. There is no problem. You know, how can you have even a research topic that is not a problem? There should be a problem. It should be providing us with insights and useful practical solutions. Yeah, that's what we are trying to talk about here. Now, maybe we give an example as well, because an example is very important. We say we need an example. You see, let's have you know, a hospitality, you know, this business that is in hospitality things, where they have a chain. So they are trying to conduct a research on the current travel trends and preferences, so that they can manage to tailor, you know, the services and the amenities to meet the changing needs of travelers. So you are trying to conduct this research, okay, so that you can manage to meet the demands, or, you know, the needs, the evolving needs of your clients. So this research is relevant to your business or to your industry. So that's what we're trying to talk about. There's nothing much. Okay. It has to be relevant. Why should you, like, you are researching on something that cannot be useful anywhere? You're bringing out solutions that are not going to be useful anywhere. Then, I mean, what kind of research is that? At least we want you that when you bring out your findings, they should be able to be used, right? We should use your findings to sort out the problem around that. Of course, that one which you have identified. So that's the whole idea. You got that example?
Yes.
So, do I have any question from anyone? We are, by the way, those that have just come, we're answering question number 2, okay? This paper came in 2021, and it was discuss and provide, you know, business examples of any 5 main characteristics or features of a good research topic. All right. Let's look at validity. Right. This is very important. It's an important point. You need it as well. Validity. Validity, actually, and the reliability.
That's time frame.
No. Sorry, is that a question?
I'm asking when you say validity, are you referring to the time frame?
Oh, okay. By validity, anyway, I'll explain what I mean. I'm asking for just, you know, less than a minute. I'll bring everything to light. Okay. So what we mean by this now, we mean that a good research will produce the valid and reliable findings that accurately, you know, show the event or the phenomenon are being studied, right? So a good research topic will give us the valid and very dependable findings. They will accurately, you know, reflect the phenomenon being studied. Okay. And actually, that's why, if you have followed enough, they have said that the research method should be scientifically sound. That is so that it can be able to produce consistent results. So, the results that we are talking about, we mean that they have to be dependable, right? They have to be dependable. They have to be those results where you can base your argument, your decision, and they should at least accurately reflect the phenomenon in the question, the phenomenon that you are studying, being studied. That's a good research topic. It has to be that valid. But what we mean by this is that at the same time, the results have to be consistent, which is a very good element as well here. What you're trying to mean is that sometimes there are these research where you do this research, then someone tries to repeat that research using same method, same everything, same data, then they are getting different results, yeah? They're getting different results. Then it means there is a problem somewhere. Yeah, ideally we need the results to be consistent since we are drawing inferences, isn't it? We're going to make inferences. We're going to make these generalizations to the general population, like, okay, if what the sample gives us is this, then obvious we can generalize this to the entirety, to the entire population. And the whole idea behind that is that we may be able to make decisions that affect the population. Okay. Now, is there any question there, or I should give first the example, then you come? About validity, let's pick an example, since examples are also part of this, very important. Giving an example, let's pick an example of what now? A consumer good, all right? Let's have the consumer goods company that is conducting the product testing using maybe some rigorous experimental designs and the controls to ensure that, the reliability of the findings regarding product performance and the consumer satisfactions remain consistent. That could be one of them. By example, for examples, you can pick as many as you can, right? It's not really supposed to be limited to one. There are just many of them. So I was just giving you an example. This particular company is, it is testing. Okay, when they are testing, they're using the experimental designs and controls. Remember, when you're using experiments, you have to control some variables, those things, and you ensure that the reason why you're controlling is to ensure that the reliability of the findings regarding the product performance or the consumer satisfactions are dependable, or they are at least consistent. So this is whole thing that we are trying to do. Yeah, or you can still look for a better example, but at least you've gotten what we are trying to mean by reliability of a good research topic. Okay. Any other from the class now? The characteristics of a good research.
So maybe what has been mentioned so far as a recap?
Okay. Right. What has been mentioned so far as a recap? Right. So we are trying to answer question number 2. It is saying that can you discuss and provide the examples of any 5 main characteristics, the main characteristics of a good research topic? We are trying to hold the conversations around the research topic. So we were giving out, trying to give the, what's this, the characteristics of a good research topic. And someone has said, of course, the following are some of them that we shared, that it has to be original, right? And by original, we say that it has to be a new topic, something that is of your own, original from you, not really something that has been done before, where you're just going to repeat the same question that was done by someone. You're repeating the same thing that has been done by other people. It means you're not adding to the board of knowledge. You need to add to the board of knowledge. So that's the characteristic that one gave. This is just a quick recap that I'm giving. Then we also say that a good research topic is supposed to have some ethical consideration, right? Or it has to obey the ethical guidelines. By that, we say that, in research, there are ethical guidelines that you have to follow. That's why when you're doing a research, it has to be cleared by, ethical clearance. You have to clear. That's to say, the research that you're doing is following the ethical guidelines that include the following, or that seek to make sure that the participants that you are working with in the during the research, the research participants, they are protected, right? Their rights are protected, their welfare is protected, or maybe of course there is consent from them. For example, you don't do experiments on people. It's not ethical. But if you want to engage the people, make sure those people are what? They give consent. For example, are you aware that it is wrong to capture people that have not given consent to you? Obviously, you're aware of those things. You don't get to capture people. You need to, don't steal data, right? As you'll be collecting data, allow the people, let people freely give. Those are some of the ethical. Anyway, let me not dwell much on ethical consideration. Then we talked about relevance. Fast forward. On relevancy, I was just trying to say that the research has to be addressing the overarching question, okay? It has to be addressing a problem. It has to be relevant to the business or to the industry. Let the research be providing the solutions, be giving solutions to the existing problem. That is what we have just said on that one as well. Then we talked about, what's this, validity as well. That was, I think, the fourth point somewhere there. And reliability, where we said that the results, the research that we do should be able to give us valid and reliable findings, okay? That at least accurately reflect the phenomenon being studied or the event that we are trying to study. The research that you're doing should be able to give us that, at least that reflection. And we're using the word reflection because it may not really be the exact thing, but at least the inferences that we draw from this research, they should be reliable for decision making. They have to be, sound enough so that we can base, they can serve as a basis for our for policy, policy making and policy control. So those are some of the few things that we've discussed. I haven't really gone so much in details in explain in the meantime, like as I'm giving you a recap. But we explained, we even gave examples, and I'm also going to share this recording. Hope that helps.
Thanks.
Hello,
It brings me to speed.
the person who asked the question, are you fine now? Are you okay?
Yes, it brings me to speed. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we are on number 5 now. We are trying. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. We are trying to look at the characteristics of a good research topic. So I am still finding out from the class, maybe the class has something to add on the characteristics of a good research topic, apart from what has been said already. Do we have any other?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, the apologies, I was locked out by, the network. I'm back. I'm now back. So the other point that we can consider is still answering question number 2, we can consider, how should I say, universality. Let me put this one. By universality, or you can still say generalizability. What we mean by this is that a good research topic should produce the findings that are applicable beyond the specific context of study, right? Like the findings that you get, they should be at least applicable to, they have to be applicable beyond the specific context of the study. Yeah. Of course, we are aware that the research may focus on particular variables or population, but the results, okay, should have broader relevance. That's the meaning. The results that you get, your findings, they have to have the broader relevance. So they should be able to be applied at least, in a context that is beyond what we are trying to consider. That's what we're trying to say. You should be able to generalize at least. That's a good one. Okay, so that's a good one. Then on the example, on the issue of the example, since the question is urging us to to keep giving examples, right? Which example do you pick? Okay, let's pick a financial institution that is conducting a survey on consumer finance behavior and the attitudes, of course, aiming to draw insights that can inform marketing strategies and product development for maybe a diverse customer base. Okay, that can be used as an example. I repeat that. I'm trying to say you can use an example of this. There is this financial institution, okay, is trying to conduct a survey on consumer financial behavior and the attitudes. The idea of this is aiming to draw some insights that can, communicate to us the marketing strategies and product development that we have to do for diverse customer base as well. So when you're conducting such a research, of course, we are trying to appreciate the aspect that, or the characteristic of a good research, that it has to, the findings that we have to have, they should be able to be applied at least in the context beyond what we are considering right now. Right. So then you can go on and look at these characteristics. There is this one, though this one is minor, objectivity. It's minor, but those ones I've given you first are they are the main ones. Okay. By objectivity, we mean that at least a good research should always have. We know that it begins with the clearly defined objectives, okay? Because without objectives, then there is nothing that we are answering. And actually, without the objective, then we do not have the direction. It is the objectives that give us the direction throughout the research process. And so it has not to be subjective, but it has to be objective, straight to what we want to examine or what we want to find out. Very important. It's a good one. It has to be objective. Okay. Maybe an example, of course, of this one as well. An example we can pick of is of a retail company, right? Conducting research to determine the factors influencing customer loyalty towards the brand, right? The aim is to develop strategies to increase the customer retention, right? So you can conduct this research to determine the factors that influence customer loyal towards the brand. What is it that is making, that is influencing the customer loyal to the brand? The whole idea is that we want to make sure that we can manage to retain our customers very well. You and I may be aware that from the basics of marketing that you learned so far, you are aware that you may be aware that in as much as it is good to acquire new customers, it is more important to retain the customers, because you may be acquiring new customers and you are losing, right? How do you come, they're coming and going? We would rather have few customers and then we keep those, we satisfy them, then we keep on selling our services to them or our goods to the same people. They keep on buying and pushing the brand. Better than you paying attention to the different, to gaining the new customers. So this is the whole idea behind all these things that we're talking about. Okay. In the meantime, let me pause from here. We were answering question number 2, trying to discuss by providing examples, the 5 main characteristics, the characteristics of a good research topic. At the end of this, I don't know, I think after next week, we should be able to start thinking about sending the research topics of your own choice. I'm not making this compulsory. It's optional, but I encourage you to think about that. Okay, let's start thinking in those lines. Just a topic, right? A topic. We can do that we can start doing that by that other week. Okay, just start thinking about it right now. Like, use the same knowledge that you've collected so far from here on how we come up with a research topic, isn't it? So that at the end of it all, you can submit your research topic here. We'll look at it, we'll share ideas with you on how best you can make it. So use all the knowledge you have given you, like all the tools you have collected from here to come up with that research topic. You can submit it. You're not really submitting it to the university in the meantime, but the idea is that by the time the university start asking you to do that, you'd be used. Okay, you'd have gotten used. It's better you start right now considering those things. Share with us here. We can help you to comment. We can pass comments. We can tell you what you have to change in advance before you get that far. So let's consider doing that after that other week, okay? I call for questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was saying, what about the problem to be in a research topic? Is it not supposed to be there?
The problem?
Yeah, the problem that you are researching.
Right. That's a research topic. Yeah, you need, it's actually the problem. How should I say? You remember when we were defining a research topic, we said it's also called the problem, right? It's a problem. It is the question, right? What is it that you are answering? Like, what are you, hope that helps. Yeah, you don't need to make it perfect in the meantime, okay? We don't really necessarily mean you have to make it perfect, but just come up with something, okay? Whatever you come up with. And I will share with you the documents that other researchers have done. I will share the documents from accounting, from business administration, from human resource, and just different articles, different dissertations that the friends have done, the people. Then we want you to go through them as well. But you can look for them even online as well. You can just read widely, a bit widely, then yeah, come up with that topic that you're going to share with us. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so maybe very quickly, what are the factors to consider when coming up with the research question?
Wow, it's a
Very quickly,
huge,
very quickly,
it's a
in a
huge
summary
question.
form. Of course, I'm not expecting you to go into details, just to mention a few.
Right. Okay, just to mention but a few, you can consider things such as number one. Let me start from the cost of research, right? You know, there are some research that the research is big, is interesting, is good, but the costs that you have to incur. For example, you want to do a research where you have to collect data from the moon. How practical is that in the meantime? You understand? So it's about first checking the cost, and that can be summarized by saying you have to look at how easily can you access the data. Can you manage to access data for such problems, right? It's very important to consider that as well. Then the ethical considerations, we've already talked about them. You have to consider them. The time frame that you are given is very important. For example, the research that you usually do maybe is just for 6 months. You know, you are given very short time frame. You may not want to do a research where you have to maybe collect data for 3 years, right? Maybe you go to the in clinical setup. I'm giving an example where you have the data is done by collecting what by tests. So you find that from this clinic they have to test. They would have just tested only 25 people this month, and you're testing people, you're collecting data by testing, maybe to require maybe 3, 4, 5 years. So you also have to consider the time, though I'm saying these things in a nutshell. Okay, there are a good number of factors anyways. I will share the second lecture. I think there is a part where there is a lecture that I did with you when I was trying to explain how to come up with a research topic. So I think there is a lot there that is explained on how to come up with a problem statement and everything. There it can clarify everything. Okay, hope that helps.
Thank you very much.
So is it possible to share the recordings?
This one, yeah, we will. We share the recording, sir. We will share the recording as soon as it is ready. It may be tomorrow when it will be ready. Whenever it will be ready, we'll share it.
What I mean is my phone had a problem, so I had to reboot. So all the recordings are gone.
Okay. But we shared them yesterday. Is it yesterday when we were sharing, checking the group, or you had to reboot today?
Yeah, yes, it was today.
Oh, okay. No worries. We'll do that again. Yeah, we'll do that. And do I have another different question? Okay, so start thinking about the research topics, okay? Please start thinking in those lines. That's a good way of doing things in the meantime. Actually, always. Let's start thinking in those lines so that we don't pressure. You know, you need to do a lot of work. There is a lot of reading that you have to do for you to come up with a good research proposal. And it is a research proposal starts from the questions. So please read through that. I'll share with you this recording and the other one that is more important for topic selection. Then you start considering those things. You may be contemplating upon that.